Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, today's topic is a very serious one. We have a very serious topic for today, and we're getting into sayings. These are my sayings, so they're very serious. And I was very serious at the time that I made the sayings. So they're going to be more serious topics from now on. And today's topic is the war on women. And I would like to make a statement. I'm at war with a world that despises women. I am at war with a world that despises women. Now, what does this mean, and why would the world despise women? What have women done to deserve being despised? Well, the truth of the matter is that some people, not just men, but women also, some people are very insecure. And these insecure people are looking for someone to blame for their troubles. And because they're insecure and because they're looking for someone to blame for their troubles, they always pick an underdog. And what bigger underdog is there than women? Women are the underdogs. So they pick women as their target for their animosity. And this is a very bad situation. Now, people who hate women are called misogynists. They don't have to outright hate women to be misogynists. They could just dislike women or be averse to women. And there's many people who are misogynists in this world. There's many misogynists. And some people claim they love women, but they just use them for sex. And those people are misogynists too, because they have a deep-seated, unrecognized hatred of women. Like the guy that was sexually assaulted me on a sleep study. This guy sexually assaulted me on a sleep study. He thinks he loves women, but he really hates women because he sexually assaulted me. So he has a deep-seated, deep-rooted, disguised, hidden hatred of women. And where does this hatred come from? Does it come from mothers? Does it come from bad mothers? Not necessarily. It could just be that the person themselves is very insecure. Maybe they had bad dads that were bad role models to them, and they just wind up hating women and blaming women for all their troubles, just like their dear old dad. So it doesn't have to be a bad mother necessarily that creates the misogyny, and it's not necessarily justified either. It's just an insecure individual that's immature that hates women. And I've heard that Trump isn't the woman-friendliest guy. Now, he's of the opinion that he's the friendliest and he's the best. But that's just his opinion. From other people's perspectives, he's not so friendly. And as far as women's issues go, he hasn't been very supportive of women's issues like abortion or health care or maternity leave. He doesn't care about any of those things. So he isn't the woman-friendliest guy, but he's just one of many. And let's look at who elected him. Some people who are misogynists elected him president because they felt that he was on the same level as their misogyny. He was on the same par as them. So they elected him president because of that. Just the same way that racists elected Trump because they felt Trump was a racist like themselves, that he was a fellow racist, and that he had to just make good and say that he wasn't a racist to satisfy certain people, but that he was really secretly a racist. So they voted for him because they felt that he was most sympathetic to their racist viewpoint. Well, it's the same thing with women. Misogynists who feel that other people match with their misogynistic viewpoint will vote for the party that seems to be the least sympathetic toward women. And Republicans haven't been very sympathetic toward women. Beside the fact that they think that women should be seen and not heard, and that women should obey their husbands in all things. Besides that fact, they also haven't been very friendly on issues such as abortion or health care or maternity leave or any of the things that affect women. And they would never consider worshiping goddess. They're men worshipers. They worship Jesus Christ, who's a man, and they worship their man god, and they don't care about goddess. So they show in all of their ways that they're misogynist. Now, where does this misogyny come from originally? What is the root of this misogyny? The root of misogyny is rebellion against goddess. It's when people decided that their god was supreme, their male god was supreme, and that they were a reflection of their own male god, and that only the male god was worthy of worship, that they began rejecting the goddess and rejecting her wisdom and rejecting her intervention in their lives and rejecting her counsel. So when they began rejecting goddess, the patriarchy arose. And patriarchy is the domination of men over women. And so this patriarchy arose, and we're still living in the patriarchy today. It hasn't changed. It's still the same old patriarchy. Some things may have changed, but the patriarchy stays the same. So what it is men who feel that they should get their way in all things. Like, for example, that men who want a woman to have an abortion so that they won't have to pay child support, or men who feel that a woman shouldn't have an abortion because they want the baby, or they want a son, or something like that. Or anytime that they impose their viewpoint on women, or feel that what they have to say or what they want is more important than what a woman's priorities or what she wants. That's an example of misogyny. And we know that there's many misogynists in this world, but the thing to take away from this is that the war on women continues, but we who are goddess worshippers do not despise women and do not get down on women and do not blame women for all of our troubles. We try to be as fair and equanimous as possible to women, despite the things that women may do, because women aren't perfect. But that doesn't mean you should despise them just because they're women. There's lots of good women also. So just remember, take away from this, that there's people who despise women just for being women. They're misogynists, and sometimes they're more misogynistic at sometimes others. But the reason that they're here on earth, the reason that they're here right now, is because they rejected goddess. And because they rejected goddess, because they were rebellious fallen angels, that is why they are here on earth today. And that is why we have a patriarchy, because of the rejection of goddess, because everyone who's here is here because they rejected goddess. So the thing to take away from this is that people will always reject goddess here on earth, and there will always be misogynists, but we can do something about it. We can try to change people's minds about women. And if we can't, we ignore those people. But we always make the effort to try to convince people that Goddess isn't so bad and that women aren't so bad. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf signing off. Have a terrific week, and don't let the misogynists get to you.